We're now going to have a really interesting panel session which is focused on WorldSkills, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. Can I ask Grant and Jane and Alexey to come up to the stage as I introduce you? We've got little pews here for you, and I think that's probably the better way to do this. We've got a good bit of time to go through this, and we can explore the things that you've been doing. I haven't met Jane, I've met Grant, and I've met Alexey as well. So perhaps you sit in the middle, Jane.
Thank you.
Alexey, good to see you. All dressed up today. He's got this here too.
G'day, how you going?
Now, I have abbreviated Jane and Grant and Alexey's biographies a little bit, so they're, the full biographies are in your handbook, but I will just take, so that you know who you're talking with. On your far left, Grant Stewart is the manager of international projects at IAPMO, as well as being the past chief expert for plumbing for WorldSkills International. Grant's held many roles within WorldSkills International and WorldSkills Australia since competing at WorldSkills competition in 1997, and we'll talk a bit about that. He's worked with the World Plumbing Council, Health Habitat, RMIT and the WorldSkills Foundation on many projects, including sanitation studios in Nepal and the Community Plumbing Challenge in India, South Africa, Indonesia and USA. Please welcome Grant. Now, Jane's a bit different. Jane Stokie commenced her career as an apprentice compositor in 1984, moving into graphic design with her advertising agency in 1988. She later completed an associate degree in graphic technology at RMIT University in 2005, giving her the confidence to accept the international role of Director of Skills Competitions for WorldSkills. She's now responsible for competition technical aspects, test projects, skill management plans, competition rules updates, expert and technical delegate professional development, and audits of WorldSkills standards, specifications in consultation with industry. It's another mouthful. Welcome, Jane. Now, I'm going to apologise ahead of time here. Alexey, I haven't practised your surname, but let me have a crack. Alexey Evtiukhin. How'd they go?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Evtiukhin. How do you say it? Your surname?
Surname, what did you mean? Last name, Evtiukhin.
Okay, close.
Yeah, Evtiukhin, okay. Sorry.
Okay. Alexey is a teacher of professional education in Moscow in Russia. He works as an expert in plumbing and heating for WorldSkills Russia, as well as coordinating their overall building and construction skills sector. In this role, Alexey helps organise, develop and prepare Russian competitors for international skills competitions, not only in plumbing, but in other building trades, including carpentry, painting and decorating and bricklaying. In 2017, he was a founding member of the HVAC Expert Group, an association that currently connects over 120 professional plumbers and 12 plumbing manufacturers across 21 regions of Russia. This year, Alexey and his HVAC expert colleagues have helped pioneer a new social sustainability initiative through the plumbing and heating competition at WorldSkills Kazan 2019, and all of them were in Russia just 2 weeks ago. So good to be home for the first for Jane and Grant, but welcome to Alexey. And he's travelled all the way from Moscow to be with us. Jane, can we begin with you? Tell us about WorldSkills. What is WorldSkills?
Okay, I'm actually going to come over to the front.
Hey, sure, you will.
It's very much a pleasure for me to represent WorldSkills today, and it's great that our previous two speakers have already referred to WorldSkills. So for some of you, you are probably converted and you know and understand WorldSkills, but for others, it's new to you. So to give you a little bit of an outline of WorldSkills. WorldSkills is the global hub for skills excellence and vocational skills. We bring together educators, industry, governments and international organisations to keep that conversation going about skills and the importance of skills in changing the lives of people. We facilitate research with bodies such as the International Labour Organisation and other United Nations organisations such as CEDAFOP and UNESCO. In the eyes of WorldSkills, we provide the best benchmark for vocational systems. You could say that WorldSkills is a movement of change, inspiring young people to take up vocational skills. We want all those people whose lives are touched by WorldSkills to realise that skills can change lives. Positive change to individuals and societies is central to our thinking and a shared objective. WorldSkills started in 1950, soon after the war, when there was a skills shortage, and Spain and Portugal recognised that they need to raise the awareness of skills across the world. Today, WorldSkills has 82 members, and just recently, while we were in Kazan, we welcomed Ghana and Uganda as our latest members. So we cover 2/3 of the population of the world. The majority of the developed economies have been on board as members of WorldSkills for a number of years. Our outreach includes now the Middle East, South America and the Eastern European countries. In this map you can see in the darker blue colour are our current members. Africa, not so many at this point in time. But we do have 7 countries and they are very much a focus for WorldSkills in the coming years. So you can see from this list, our goal for 2020 was to have 70 members on board, and now we have 82. That just proves the strength of WorldSkills and how it's becoming known across the world. To bring all this together, I'd like to share with you a video which outlines what WorldSkills is.
Our life today is based on one cornerstone: skills. Skills shape people and their societies. Plumbers, electricians, machinists, mechanics, cooks, computer technicians, welders, designers, and many other necessary skilled professionals constantly improve our world with the power of skills. In 1950, when skilled labor, collaboration, and innovation were needed more than ever, the first WorldSkills competition was hosted in Spain. Today, over 70 member countries and regions participate in the biggest vocational education and skills excellence event in the world. The WorldSkills competition truly reflects the global industry. Tens of thousands of young students and professionals have participated over the years. The WorldSkills Foundation contributes by connecting champions, experts, and partners with projects and initiatives that improve lives and to build innovative and sustainable activities around the world. WorldSkills is not just a competition, though. It is a movement. By working in the 6 main areas: promoting skills, career building, skills competitions, education and training, international cooperation and development, and research, WorldSkills is the global hub for skills excellence and development with ongoing activities nationally and globally. WorldSkills raises the profile and recognition of skilled people and shows how important skills are in achieving economic growth and personal success. WorldSkills, the global hub for skills excellence and development.
So skills competitions, that's our flagship event every 2 years. It's the World Championship of Skills, and for some, it's the Olympics of Skills. When I competed back in 1988, it was actually called the Skill Olympics. So Grant, Alexey and I have just come back from Kazan, as you know, where we had 56 skills representing 56 different vocational occupations, and competing with 63 countries, competing in all or some of those skills. The venue was 200,000 square metres, and to put that into context, 28 soccer pitches, 20 rugby fields, or for cricket lovers, 10 MCGs. Competitors compete for medals, gold, silver and bronze, and then the top 50% also are awarded medallions for excellence. So as you've already heard, Australia won a bronze medal, and Alexey's competitor won a medallion for excellence. So seeing the elation on the faces of these young people, all under 23, as they are awarded medals. And on this slide, we can see some other skills that WorldSkills hosts at the competition, and it shows just the diversity of vocational skills. So we have skills that represent manufacturing and engineering, building, construction, ICT, social and personal services, transportation, and creative arts. As I said, the WorldSkills competition is our flagship event, but increasingly we are diversifying our business like other businesses around the world. Our annual conference continues to grow, and just 2 weeks ago, over 1,000 people from around the world attended the conference. The focus was on the changes taking place in the world of work and the need to create green jobs and green skills that tackle climate change. And for the first time, we brought together 22 ministers from around the world, so government policy makers, to continue that conversation about skills. For WorldSkills, everybody's a winner who competes. In Kazan, we had 1,350 young competitors, all national winners representing their countries. They are champions no matter whether they win a medal or not, because they are the best advocates for WorldSkills and for vocational skills as they go back to their own countries. They have the opportunity to impact the change needed in the world, and they also are pivotal in leading that change. WorldSkills is in a unique position in that we can tap into the education system of the 82 countries who are our members. We've capitalised on that by developing what we call the WorldSkills Standard Specifications. These reflect global occupations and work roles in the 56 skills that we have at our competition. Our framework covers specialist, technical and generic 21st century skills that employers are crying out for. Things like teamwork and problem solving, so not just the technical side. WorldSkills is by no means an authority on its own. We are in partnership with the International Labour Organisation and the United Nations, as well as global industry and education. Every 2 years, our judges come together to review the WorldSkills Standard Specification to ensure that any technological advances or changes in industry and projections for the future are encapsulated in our standard specifications. We then take that review from our judges and get high-performing business and industry to audit those standards to ensure that WorldSkills is validated and to ensure we are relevant to what's happening in the world. And my call to action to you is if you would like to help with that audit process, then perhaps you could drop a card to Grant in the IAPMO booth, and we can contact you to be part of that. So the prime value of the specifications is threefold. They're a reference point and a baseline for our competitions to ensure that we are rewarding authentic vocational excellence or performance. They provide a benchmark on standards for our member countries. And for economies, they support young people going into skills or vocational areas to survive in this modern changing world. So before I hand over to Grant and Alexey, who'll talk more about your interest in plumbing, I'd like to share with you our promotional video aimed at the young people to get them interested and involved in skills.
Young people are amazing, right? We get things done. But it's really hard out there now, and the workplace is stacked against so many of us due to race, gender, and where we live. What are we supposed to do? At WorldSkills, we believe what young people need to be able to survive and thrive is skills. Skills matter. They change lives by building self-esteem and releasing potential. They open up opportunity and connect communities. At WorldSkills, we've built a movement that's changing young people's lives through skills, reaching 2/3 of the world's population. It's a movement of change. We create this change by inspiring young people to develop a passion through learning a skill or pursuing excellence at one of our skills competitions. We develop these skills, helping to raise global standards in training and industry engagement. Our young people connect globally and develop skills together. We influence government and educators through international cooperation and research, building a global platform to champion skills. We're creating measurable impact at every level, building the confidence of hundreds of thousands of young people, empowering communities and fueling local and international economies. Look, we know things are tough, so if you want to change your life and that of your community and country, get involved with WorldSkills now. Join us and be one of the millions of young people changing their lives with the power of skills. WorldSkills. Skills change lives.
Good, Jane. Thank you very much. Let's bring Grant and Alexey into the conversation now. Firstly, Grant, you first became in... you tell us, how did you get involved?
Well, yeah, 20-something years ago, I was in a college, like Mark mentioned, you know, an apprenticeship scheme. I did my training at the college. Somewhere along the line, I heard about WorldSkills, thought maybe this is a good idea. Did a regional competition, which is a competition like was shown on a slide previously. John Doig actually showed a video, in his slides. A regional competition. From that, was offered the opportunity to go to a national competition which was held in Canberra back in '97. And from that, I was lucky enough somehow, still can't quite work out how, a gold medal, which was then offered the opportunity to go to the international competition.
Tell us what you did. I don't know anything about what you did.
There you go.
Tell us what you did.
Righto. Well, the national competition, and I'll talk a bit more about that, but it's a demonstration of many pipe and drainage and hand skills that plumbers do. It's a simulation of a bathroom generally, maybe a kitchen, some gas pipe work, some waste pipe work, generally in a lot of different materials. Copper, PEX pipe, can be cast iron, PVC, and all the other ancillary parts that go with it. So it's usually, in most countries, the national competition over a 2 or 3 day period, and then it's judged by the army of people behind the scenes.
So I'm just confirming, you're the guy whose number I need when I've got a problem at home, right?
Someone said to me out there in the booth this morning, once a plumber, always a plumber, and there's never a true word spoken. Doesn't matter how far you get away from it, someone always knows you're a plumber. Right. So you can never quite get away from that one. That's for sure.
So how's plumbing reflected or used in WorldSkills nowadays?
It hasn't changed overly. The structure is still the same. The international competition, I'm just going to click a few slides along here, and I'm going to use this one first up. It's the Australian competitor competing in Kazan, Patrick, who John mentioned before. The biggest change in the competitions in the nearly 25 years I've been involved, technology, the use of proprietary brand modular systems with cisterns, in-wall cisterns, different types of pipework that have evolved over time, to PEX pipework, stainless steel, a lot of the crimp fittings that are around these days that have changed the way people install things to make it it's safer. There's an array of different things that make it a better option for installation. So that's sort of the bigger change in the competitions themselves. The the stress and the competition involvement for the competitors hasn't really changed. It's still probably one of the biggest things they've ever done in their life to that point, and the opportunities that come from that are huge.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm reminding myself I've got a note here that I want to talk about green jobs and green skills because it's a bit of a passion of mine. You can work out how was that reflected in perhaps in this year's competition? Was that James said has become a bit of a focus?
Yeah, and I will come back to that a bit, but I mean, as Mark mentioned, the custodians of the health of the world, as well as embodying, all the things that go with. A friend of mine always just say, plumbers are green by nature. We're maintaining water, stopping it dripping, wasting into the sewers, onto the ground, whatever. So by its first nature, it's saving water, and then looking after the environment by saving the wastewater that is produced from buildings to go not into the environment. It's treating it before it goes in the environment. So I've often reminded we're green plumbers by start, just by nature, but there's many other things that go with it at this day and age. I've lost where I was going there.
I distracted you by talking about green jobs and green skills. I guess I'm interested in whether the competitors in this year's competition, whether they're enthusiastic about that and whether they see that as the direction that the industry might go.
I think so. I mean, we talked, and I'll launch into this already. Actually, we looked at a different opportunity this cycle of competition. As you mentioned, I work for IAPMO now. Amongst other things I've done in the past, I've always been involved in WorldSkills, and having that contact with a WorldSkill expert and designer group, we offered the opportunity to look after the project for a part of the competition. And that was in collaboration with Alexey's organisation and other ministries in Russia, where we, instead of having the competitors all competing in their own little booth, which you can see them all doing here, they're all competing away, focusing on their own job. And that's the key part of what WorldSkills has been for many years. What we wanted to do was bring them all together, because often they don't get to talk. They focus on their own job. They're from all over the world. The opportunity to bring them all together is a great opportunity. So we took that, had all the competitors on the fourth day, gather around, and then with the help in pre-planning with the organisation in Russia, prefabricated some bathrooms that were to go into an orphanage which was nearby. So the fourth day, and I'm going to fast forward these a little bit, they're taking a little bit longer than I had thought. We had the collaboration of all these competitors, which was by all means a success in itself. There were people talking, laughing, sharing experiences from around the world, which in my experience has never happened before. They come to the competition, they go away again. There was laughs and there was stories and sharing photos of their cars at home and their hobbies and all the sorts of things that we wanted to see in that sort of thing. So after we'd done that in that day, we actually got everyone around together and asked, is that something they wanted to do? And unanimously, that was supported by that.
So I've got a note here about is that the social sustainability project that you're referring to?
Yeah, and I'm trying to busily fast forward this along a little bit. This is the team project here.
The
So
C4 team project. I've got a note in the C+ Children's Home project.
That's the children's project here. So the children's home project. So this is what we talked about. The slides here are the teams working together as one. They weren't individuals. They worked together as one team to put it together. The languages weren't an issue. Hand signals and every other thing that you could, bits of paper, scribbling the numbers, because languages don't allow that generally. And at the end of the day, we had something which are in these slides that was usable. Great. And that's the first for WorldSkills in plumbing for sure. And from that, we took these and moved them on to the children's home. So I think I'm just going to fast forward that along. There's some members of the children's home that actually come out to see what it was all about, which is an important part of what we did. The children's home was nominated by the ministry in Russia. We thought it important for the people that are actually gaining the bathrooms to see a little bit about what it's about. So they come and had a look around, and so truly it was a collaborative event all around.
Okay, let's bring Alexey. Alexey, this must have been, you must have been very proud to have this new version in Russia for the first time.
Yes, this is idea come to me in 2015, and I want first help, and the second use material and equipment which we have in competition, and not bring this as project. Uses this I don't know, maybe take to life for this material.
And what about your local students? I mean, Grant explained how they're all working together for local Russian students. Was that of value to them?
Yes, for students, they to do this did this as a project, understood what is need. Yes, because for they is understand what it need. Yes, need not for salary. Yes, need for create little home for children who have problem with health.
And was local industry involved as well in support of the program?
Yes, for industry it's good. Was good idea. Yes, because here help with material, with equipment, no problem, because it is a good project.
Okay, so tell us what's planned for the next one.
Well, I'll just elaborate a bit on the material. We used the plumbing project at the competition. You saw the photos earlier. There was a toilet installed, and there were some basins and so forth. They were taken from the actual competition site, along with the units that were manufactured, to be installed at the children's home. So it was a multi-purpose use of material. The industry, TC, who is a sponsor of WorldSkills, were more than happy to support the material and everything that went with it. So it was a first as well to have that to happen.
Well, look, we've got quite a few questions coming in. Firstly, are the videos available?
Yes.
People want to use those, and obviously, look at that. Is there an effort to increase the age limit of competitors?
That old chestnut. Jane might be able to answer that one.
Yep, so most of our skills are 23 and under in the year of the competition. And then some of our skills are also 26 and under for more the manufacturing or robotic type skills. This is a conversation that we have on a biannual basis. It continually comes up because our members are finding that more and more of the young people are staying at school and finishing their secondary education and then taking their gap year, which seems to be more common across the world as well, and not getting involved in their skill or trade until maybe in their 20s. And my son is even evidence of that. He started his carpentry apprenticeship when he was nearly 21.
I was thinking, I think Sir Peter Cosgrove mentioned tomorrow morning, and Mark made some comments this morning about this notion of continuous apprenticeships as well. So, I'm thinking, I'm a senior. Should we have a seniors or seniors working with apprentices?
That's a great opportunity, and that's something that we should be looking more at. And that's a very good point, and that's something that I've been involved in with another organisation that's looking at ways we can do that here in Australia. There's men's sheds that are a big thing in this country, linking them up with young people that need a little bit of help and a bit of motivation, and the skills are all there. So
Yeah.
that's a great point.
Yeah, that's that sharing bit as well. Now, there's another
Absolutely.
question here. Of the 82 members of WorldSkills, who are your top 5?
Oh.
Okay.
For plumbing or for general?
I don't know whether the question doesn't
Well, we
delve into that.
we could probably cover both there.
Okay, so Korea, Switzerland, Chinese Taipei, or Taiwan, as many of you know it, and Russia's well up there at the moment too. Yeah.
Okay. United States not there, I've noticed, Mark. Not
No,
in that list.
the US doesn't have a big participation in WorldSkills.
Right, the new president.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad you mentioned the WorldSkills in your words earlier, because we need to talk some more about that, particularly for plumbing.
And for the locals here, Australia came 8th in the world, so out of 63 members competing.
Okay, so look,
Sorry, I'll just jump in there
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
For plumbing, and it's not far different. Korea for plumbing, very strong. I mean, I'm looking at a 20-year sort of involvement. Korea, Switzerland, Australia always punches above its weight with this, the opportunity that we have and the money support we have. We've always been there. Looked last week at the last 18 competitors. We've in Australia sent 18 competitors internationally in the last 30 years, and we've had 6 medals from that. So
wow.
It's not a bad effort, and we've always been right there if it wasn't with a medal. So we've done it well.
And where is the next competition? You know?
Yep, Shanghai, September 2021.
In 2020, no, September 2021.
So
2021.
2 years away.
Okay.
And you asked a question earlier about what's next for these sort of projects. We're working with, starting to work with China to see how we can bring together a community project. This was done in about 12, 15, 18 months, as Alexey mentioned. We're looking now to work with China for the future. And 4 years' time, it's in France, and the French organisers have actually been in contact already. How do we start to build this into our national competitions? The use of the projects in a somewhere nearby for a project that's real. So it's definitely building, and I think you probably could add to that some of the other skills that are starting to want to get involved as well.
Yeah, I think looking at what plumbing have done in Kazan, more and more skills are interested in the sustainable side of what they can do with their projects. Maybe they're designing projects that can move into the community in some way. Back in Calgary in 2009, there was a big focus, and that fell away, whereby a lot of the projects went to women's refuges or community parks and so on. So we're raising that profile again. But also amongst the young competitors, for the first time we had a Sustainable Practice Award, and that was to raise the profile of the competitors competing in the use of their materials and reducing the amount of waste that they had in their materials. So that's also growing some traction as well.
Interesting. Okay. George, I think if you, George is very keen on getting a video, so I think, George, if you speak to Jane.
I'm in the booth. I'm going to finish off with that anyway. I'll be in the booth, which is right outside there, the iWish booth. I can organise whatever's needed for that.
All right. Anything else you want to add? There's no more questions coming through, unless I've missed one.
I'd like to thank Alexey for his organisation for letting us have this project. I mean, I've been involved in it for roughly a year. The project that we talked about, the extension of the competition, and I haven't been so excited for a long time. Once I got back, everything come together really well, and the support from the Russian organisers there was brilliant, and we hope to replicate that. So, thanks, Alexey.
Thank you.
All right. Good work. Okay. Anything else from you? This is your last chance, Alexey. You good?
Yeah.
Do you want to make a final statement?
I want to speak about. We prepared this project not one time. Yes, we prepared 1 year.
Yes.
Yes, because it's a very big work. With not I and Grant, we have a lot of big team who prepared this project, who create this project. And for me, how expert I mean, in WorldSkills, is a very good communication with expert other country, different country, because we not see politics. We see only expert and competitor. Yes, because this is event for competitor. Because for it, for it, it's very good for very good situation for next life. Yes, because if you think it's this is project, I mean, this project is not easy. It's very, very busy, very different, because we have short time. They had short time and a lot of work. For expert, it's good because we communication with good practice, because this country from Switzerland, from Austria, is very good prepared competitor. For me, I take this as practice in my country, and next I give this as practice for college. So for me, it's thank you very much for.
It's a good. I'll just add to that. Thanks, Alexey.
I'm sorry for my English.
I just wanted to add to Alexey's comment there, and I didn't mention that the expert group for the plumbing competition, well, right across the WorldSkills competition, is a perfect time for people to network and learn across the countries, and it's as big a part of the competition as the competitors competing. The competition is about the competitor, but it is a very big part of it. And I know the network in plumbing extends across the world, you know, with Alexey, with colleges, talking to another colleague yesterday, last night, about how these people, we can learn from all these people across the world. So that's my last comments. Thank you all.
Well, it sounds like it's going from strength to strength. I think, Jane, 2 new African country members, Uganda and
Ghana.
In Ghana. So that must be encouraging as well. I mean, there's, you'll be looking to, presumably, see if we can get many more members from the African continent, because there's a bit of work to do there.
Yep, so we're doing a fair bit of work in Africa, and with them coming on board, we've been able to, so with 7 countries, now created WorldSkills Africa, and they will also have 2-yearly competition in the off year of the international, starting next year.
Well, sounds like you've done you've had a great time as well, I think, as well as anything else, but you're certainly putting the industry forward internationally very strongly, and we're generating and seeing some of the best and brightest coming forward. Is great. Well done. Thanks. Please thank Grant Stewart, Jane Stokie and Alexey Evtiukhin. Well done, guys.